2019, make Blacklight great again. Not gonna happen, but I can still make a video on it and milk Blacklight's nipples for a little bit longer. But to start off, if you haven't, I will have the link to my Blacklight Discord down in the description, and you can go ahead and join. This is for basically setting up a small community of people who actually still play Blacklight, something that the official Blacklight server does not really do, because there's about 2,000 people and only maybe 10 to 15 of them actually talk or play Blacklight Retribution, and not even 15 play. I mean, I've only seen like 2 or 3 playing at once. But yeah, that's beside the point. So I'm going to get into it, what my thoughts. I have been playing Blacklight a whole lot recently, and of course I played it since the start, back in like 2012, 2013, started playing, so I kind of understand how it's progressed over time and what could be improved, compared to other FPSs and whatnot. So to start off, HRV is in a good place right now, and honestly, if they never touched HRV ever again, it would probably still be perfect in the game. I mean, that's a mechanic that has just been solid throughout the entire history of Blacklight Retribution. They could change it, maybe if they're going to completely revamp it, maybe make it so that helmets, Jesus. So maybe that certain helmets or all the helmets don't have quite a long range, so that you can't just HRV right off the bat and know exactly where they spawned or something like that. But honestly, it's probably going to create more issues than it'll solve. But when it comes to HRV, the HRV cloak is a completely horrible idea. There's this one mechanic that kept everyone on a level playing field, and they just came out with this one equipment piece that put someone in a absolutely amazing advantage compared to everyone else. Because you pop it, you can use HRV so where everyone else is, but people can use HRV and they can't see you until you're extremely close to them. And that's probably about 10-20 feet. Sometimes it's way too late and you're already dead. The HRV, the late down HRV cloak with the bubble, that's okay, I guess, because like once you get killed by them once, you know where they're camping and they can't move with it. They have to stay in the exact same place the entire time. If they even step out of it, they are seen. So that I don't really have too much of a problem with. It is annoying, but you can easily figure it out. Hence the giant bubble that you'll see when you're walking by or something along those lines. But the HRV cloak, the mobile one, there's no cooldown. So once it turns off, you can immediately turn it back on. There's no balance to it. I really feel like it was not a good addition to the game in any way, shape, or form. Removing that completely or balancing in a certain way so it has some kind of cooldown, or you can only use it in specific situations, so on and so forth. So that's the start, because that's what pisses me off the most out of any item in the game. Next on the list of more things that piss people off is grenade spam. I've seen the most cancerous build on planet Earth, and that was done by someone named WLOF, Wolf, or I can't spell Wolf. So, and what it was full grenade loadout, and then as an equipment, a reload the ammo box so that he could just throw all the grenades, camp by the depot, put his thing down, get more grenades, throw them, pick up more grenades, throw them. And it was like 10-12 grenades at once. So you couldn't walk anywhere for like the entire match because it was just explosions constantly. And that goes hand in hand with the depot with healing and getting ammo. Obviously the grenade spam, you should have whatever you came into the match with, whatever. But when there should be a timer from the point that you throw the grenade to when you can reload your grenades. And using, like, obviously getting the ammo at the depot, have a cooldown for that, have a cooldown for the health. You make it like 30 seconds because the game is extremely fast paced and, maybe even less than 30 seconds. But the ammo, because you can just place your ammo thing down, get grenades, spam grenades, go to the depot, spam more grenades. So there should be some kind of cooldown on the explosives and deployables. So that's one thing that can fix the grenade spam that is constantly happening in game all the time, and it's just AIDS to the max. And I'm sure we all know that when someone throws 6 grenades, you're like, okay, it's finally done, and then 18 more grenades come through, and you just get blown into oblivion. Next on the list, customization balance. There are some items. The one thing that I think Blacklight customization prided itself on was having complete side grades for the most part, where it was, okay, well, I can get more damage with this, but I have to sacrifice this, this, and this stat. Or I sacrifice these stats to get this better. Or I get these couple stats better, but I have to sacrifice, recoil or damage. Or something along those lines. and that kind of made it extremely balanced, which across the board anyone could have any kind of gun customized in any way to fit their playstyle, and it would, you know, not, you know, unbalance anything. But some items now are direct upgrades. Like I'll have like one muzzle that I have, and then I click on another muzzle, I'm like, this just gives me better stats on everything without taking anything away. And I think over time, with them constantly adding new things and how many different items they had, there obviously is going to be some imbalance, but I'm sure they could tweak it a little bit to make certain items to take these direct upgrades and make them side grades. So it's not that hard. There's only a couple items there, but it completely makes others obsolete, and those need to be fixed in some way, shape, or form. Number 4 on my list. Obviously, this is something everyone notices. PS4, not as much, but on PC, the gun mechanics are, like the recoil mechanics now, are disgustingly horrible. You have these sets of guns that are the meta, which I see people talking about. The heavy assault rifle, the assault rifle, and the tactical assault rifle are 3 of the best guns in the game. The assault rifle, hands down, is just, there's no recoil whatsoever. You can just use it as a laser beam, and putting a suppressor on it makes it even more deadly, along with a damaging build. And it's just better than any other gun at all, just in general. It's so easy to use. We need to revert to what it was before. Maybe not completely what it was before, maybe change it up a little bit. Keep recoils, you know, so that you actually have to compensate, but not so much that nobody uses the AK or the M4 and stuff because of how horrible the recoil is compared to this assault rifle, laser beam, and whatnot. That needs to be reverted to a point and then tweaked from there, because obviously everyone always wants things to be, you know, difficult. If you have a better weapon overall, it has higher damage, like the heavy assault rifle. It has a lower fire rate and more recoil in the older Blacklight, but it's, yeah, like I said, but it has the higher damage. Now the assault rifle keeps that damage, not like the heavy assault rifle, but it keeps damage and it has no recoil whatsoever. And then you have guns like the AK, which does less damage than the heavy assault rifle, is around the same fire rate, but has disgusting recoil that I can't even control. I've been using the heavy assault rifle for a while because I realized that it is a powerful weapon, alongside the M4X as my close range run and gun one. But it's just, there's no point in using certain guns because of how disgusting they are when it comes to recoil. When it used to be, you could create any gun in any fashion and you could use them in a viable, they were all viable in some way, shape, or form, but now some of them are just trash now, so there's no point in using certain ones. The UI is overall pretty good. I like the customization UI. Obviously, when they did the parity patch, they just took PS4s and copy pasted it on the PC. And for the most part, it's not terrible, but I don't like certain things. There's always room for improvement on the UI. And if they were to just revamp it again, make it PC separate from PS4 so that it would fit the controllers that you're using, your inputs, your mouse or keyboard, or the controller to work better, then boom, fix the problem for everyone, whatever. Hard suits. Hard suits are another amazing thing that this game offers. It's basically the Titanfall before Titanfall. And I thought that at some point they were going to do something with the hard suits, you know, with the introduction of siege mode and this large tank, and, you know, people using hard suits in that mode a whole lot more than normal. Certain maps that favored using, you know, a hard suit on both teams or something along those lines. I assumed that maybe they would take customization of hard suits to the next level, like give the ability to choose out of certain chassis, like the first Titanfall did, and then you could change the weapons on it, change the, you know, special ability on it. You know, maybe instead of having a bigger booster on the Rhino hard suit, you could give it some kind of, I don't know, literally anything. You could give it a, you know, like drop a smoke grenade, something, the digi grenades, like the gunman hard suit. But like the gunman, everything's like so closed, and I get that they have put that there for, I guess, balance reasons. I don't know, but they could definitely have improved on it. You know, added so many different things to the hard suits to add just another layer of gameplay instead of sticking us with these basic hard suits that do add something now, and they're nice to use, even though everyone complains about them, even though they're easy to destroy. But they should have something that gives them the ability to be customized to a further extent. Add maybe a couple more chassis. You know, you have your heavy one, you have your light one, maybe add a medium one, maybe add like even a lighter one that has some kind of recon that'll get basically one shot by a rocket launcher, but is extremely quick, has dodges, something along those lines. And that would just improve everything overall. Another thing I'm sure we're all aware of is that matchmaking is practically non-existent, which pairs up these people who are like 60 prestige with player level 1 through 5. They did come out with the Stomping Grounds though, which is level 1 through 35, but what happens is, of course, you have plenty of Smurfs that they just create counts and go dominate in these servers. And another thing is sometimes the level isn't determinate of skill. I've seen players who are level 60 who are better than people who are level 60 prestige. You know, I've dunk squatted people who are, you know, 60, 70 prestige, but then I sometimes look at my ass slain by some kid who's level 70, which who knows, they might be Smurfs, but matchmaking is a huge thing that really deters new players because they keep getting screwed over. I don't know how many times I've seen new players just leave matches because they've gotten annihilated by the higher up players. And then obviously that's a huge thing that everyone's been talking about, and putting that in will just completely change the experience for newer players. Another huge thing is reviving what Blacklight used to be, and I'm not saying reverting everything, but can you not take away things from the game when you update it? Like when you took away a bunch of maps from us, and then you also took away ammos, and a couple other things. I don't know what else you guys removed from the game, but I know the maps were the big thing. Oh yeah, the game mode Siege. That was another thing. You just removed it and you're like, oh, you know, we might add it later again. You've taken away content, you regressed in your production of the game. Which just confuses me because I'm concerned that you have no idea how to make a game when you're just taking away content. That's not how it works. You're supposed to add to the game. I think they claim that some of the maps weren't really noob friendly, but that shouldn't really matter considering that people are going to have to be playing on these maps for their entirety of their gaming career in the game. So that doesn't really make any sense to me in any way, shape, or form because you've just taken away from all the players who are past that new player stage, which is probably the majority of people. So good job with that one too. That doesn't make any sense. Bug fixes go hand in hand with this hugely because there's so many bugs in the game right now. Sometimes the HRV cloak, you can see people when they're in it. You know, sometimes your own grenade that you threw extremely far will kill you, and you'll kill yourself and you'll be like, how did that happen? I can't even see the explosion from here. You know, there's so many things, just glitches, you know, in movement, animations, you know, skins, everything that you could think of has some kind of bug to it. And that needs to be fixed, obviously. Always bugs need to be fixed in this game. But my last point is another thing, and that is the expansion of the game modes and competitive scene for this game. Because simply, there is no competitive mode, when obviously there was some tournaments before, but competitive mode, you know, like, let's say, you know, like CSGO has ranks, you know, having some kind of ranking system, a lower player count, maybe 5v5, 6v6 competitive mode on some of these game modes, and so on and so forth, which would give people more incentive to improve and to gain these ranks and to play different game modes. As well as expanding the kinds of game modes, maybe adding some more unique ones, adding hard suit only modes where you'll spawn in with your hard suit, you'll drop down, you know, like Titanfall, they had the Titan v Titan thing, which was cool. And then there are so many things that you could do in this game that is different, but they just decide not to for whatever reason. And another thing, someone mentioned that if they added a battle royale to the game, it would kind of revive it. It would probably gain some player traction, and adding it, I don't think it'd hurt the game, but it's not really necessary in my mind. Everything has a battle royale. Just adding it just cause, along with everything else, wouldn't be a horrible idea, but they would have to make a whole new map and everything for it, and maybe it would draw in a whole lot of players. I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and drop a like down below. If you did not, you know what to do. If you want to see more videos like this and some other topics and gaming videos, go ahead and hit that juicy subscribe button and the little notification bell, and I will catch you on the next one.